Hey guys, welcome back. This week I'm going to be working on this little vintage coffee table and matching end table set that I was gifted by a friend. She was a fellow flipper who moved out of state and left me a bunch of her hoard that she wasn't going to be able to finish. We do have some new subscribers here, so welcome to the channel. If you are not already subscribed, I definitely appreciate if you would do so I can continue to bring you guys content. I first started off by sanding everything down to the bare wood. I am really going for a light, almost bleached wood look finished for this piece. And I started with a 60 grit on my random orbital sander and worked my way up to a 240 on everything that I sanded down.
I'll never wanna be away, leave you again. You are all I want and more. It is true. If only I could do one thing, I'll be with you. It is true. Baby, how I need the loving of you. Waiting at the doorstep, finally home. I've been gone for too long. Standing here a while just to take it all in. Radio is playing the song. It is true. If only I could do one thing, I'll be with you. It is true. Baby, how I need the loving of you. Will you still love me as I'm getting lonely and old? And when you are away, I sometimes dream.
When it came time to sand these 10 turned legs, I did my little DIY surf prep trick where I add a sanding sponge in between my sandpaper and the sander to give it that little foam cushion to help get around those curved areas and to avoid flattening out any of those areas.
Waiting at the doorstep, finally home. I've been gone for too long. It is true.
To get that whitewashed, bleached wood look I'm going for, I am using Dixie Belle's gel stain in Picklin White, and I am applying this with a foam brush. I applied one coat to the entire top of the table, and then I went back and wiped off any excess with paper towels.
Baby, how I need the loving of you. Baby, how I need the loving of you. Baby, how I need the loving of you. I'll let you go.
Off camera, I took off the brackets that held the legs on and I cleaned them up all really good with some Barkeeper's Friend. I also sanded the underneath of all of the tabletops just to really freshen them up. Some of them were in pretty rough condition. I'm then going to put on some frog tape around the edges of the brackets so that when I go to paint the legs, I can just kind of set them in place and not have to worry about getting any paint on my freshly cleaned brackets. These tables are solid maple and maple is prone to bleed, so I applied 2 coats of Dixie Belle's Boss in white to the legs just to prevent bleed through, and then I did let that dry for 24 hours before I moved on to the next step.
The night was long as I waited without a sign. 'Cause I know what matters to you. But what do you want? What's your biggest need?
I was going for a monochromatic look on this. I wanted to do white on white, so I am using Dixie Belle's Silk Saltwater white on this. I know watching white go on top of white primer isn't that exciting, but I did end up doing 3 coats of this silk paint, and I didn't have to worry about sealing it since it is an all-in-one. I had originally stained the sides of some of the tabletops, but I wasn't happy with the way that the stain took, so I did do a coat of Boss along the edges, and then I also went in with a detail brush and did 3 coats of the saltwater color along the edges of all the tables as well.
For something that matters to me. But what do you want? What's your biggest need? Every hour we spend together, and suddenly.
To seal up all the areas that I stained, I used Dixie Belle Clear Coat in flat, and I applied it with a foam brush to all of those areas that I applied that white gel stain. I did a total of 3 coats of the clear coat.
Together, we wait and see. But the chances are small, just like the lottery. I'm waiting at the doorstep, I'm finally home.
Okay, and before we get into the final reveal, let's take a look back to remember what we started with.
Standing here a while just to take it all in. Radio's playing our song. And then you stood there smiling at me.
And here is the final look. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments below.
I'll never wanna be away, leave you again. You are all I want and more. It's true. If only I could do one thing, I'll be with you. It's true.
Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those below as well. I do try to answer and reply to every comment. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next weekend with another flip.